Wow, look at us. We're on kind of a roll for uploading videos this week. This is insanity. This is insane. What happened to the real core? This is clearly not core. How you guys doing? I hope you guys are having a fantastic day. Today, we're coming in with another Am I the Silly Bugger video. A lot of people are telling me to say antagonist, but that's kind of Q-Star's thing, and I don't want to be stepping on his toes, you know? And Silly Buggers is kind of like a meme at this point. So, yeah, speaking of memes, remember guys to drink Red Bull, you know? And they're not a sponsor, but I sure want them to be. Give me free Red Bull, please. I sound like I'm absolutely begging for it, don't I? Well, that's because I am. But anyways, remember guys, we have a Reddit channel, a group Reddit channel called Silly Buggers. So, you know, make sure to go check it out if you're looking for more content to watch. If you like this video, you know, a subscription is free. So, you know, just tap that subscribe button. Anyways, let's just jump into it. Am I the silly bugger for telling my fiance that her dream wedding location is off limits because my sister had chosen it first? So I proposed to my girlfriend at the beginning of this year. We originally planned to get married this September, but that has obviously been pushed back to next year. My sister also got engaged last year, and her fiance were 100% set to have an April wedding before the pandemic shut everything down. However, tragedy struck and her fiance suddenly passed away this June. COVID related. It has been an extremely tough time for all of us in the family. My sister has been hospitalized on and off over the past month, and we're all doing our best to support her. Anyways, now I'm fighting with my fiance because I'm putting my foot down, so to speak, on her latest decision to change our wedding venue to where my sister originally planned hers. My sister had planned to have her wedding at a famous country estate/mansion near where we live, and that's really hard to reserve normally. It was also where she went on her first date with her fiance, so it had special meaning for them. My fiance recently told me that she had contacted the estate out of curiosity and found out they have openings early next year, so she now wants to have our wedding there instead. She visited the place and fell in love with it, and says it's actually her dream venue. I basically said absolutely not. Are you insane? That would be incredibly traumatic for everyone in my family, including me, but especially my mum and my sisters, who already helped my sister and brother-in-law plan their wedding at the exact location. My fiance won't budge, and she's furious I'm not seeing things from her side. She says our wedding could be like a beautiful tribute to my sister's loss, but I don't think that anyone would see it that way. More than likely, people would think we stole our sister's wedding ideas and are forcing her to attend out of cruelty. Am I the silly bugger for telling my fiance her dream venue is an absolute no-go? Look, I think this is a really tough one. I definitely think no one's being a silly bugger in this situation. I think your wife is just being a little bit unwilling to see things from your perspective, unwilling to see that this is genuinely a traumatic thing for you, and that it's probably not a good idea just from a purely human perspective to do this. I don't think she's doing it to be rude or something like that. I think she's just completely blanking on it. Yeah, I guess just try and have a conversation with her, try and make her see things from your perspective. But yeah, you're definitely in the right for going about it the way you're going about it. Because at the end of the day, this is a big deal to your sister. This is your sister's wedding, and I'm sure she really wouldn't like to attend it, especially after what just happened. You know, I completely get it. Am I the silly bugger for leaving my wife and kids after she locked the door on me? My wife decided that it would be funny to lock the door on me while I was getting the mail. I waited for 10 minutes, knocking the door and calling her, and she wouldn't answer. I was already pissed that morning because I had stubbed my toe and slept pretty terribly. She knew this. So I decided to bike to my friend's house. After about 10 minutes, she tries to call me, but I just ignore her. After about 2 hours of hanging around with my friends playing some Halo, I came back home riding my bike. The door is open by this point. I come home to see her in tears. Now she's very pissed at me for leaving her with our kids for over an hour. I just said to her that she locked me out and I didn't think she needed my help. I was already pretty pissed that day and didn't think locking me out for 10 minutes was very funny, so I decided to make it fun. She's now complaining that we're supposed to have equal responsibilities in taking care of our children, and that I was being sexist that I just left her. Our children are 4 and 1. So, am I the silly bugger? Look, if she locked you out of the house for 10 minutes and didn't come to the door to like let you in after that like initial like shock period, then yeah, you're not the silly bugger at all, and she definitely is. If she didn't want you to leave to go with your friends for a bit, maybe she shouldn't have locked you outside, you know? Maybe she should have come to the door a little bit sooner, and I guess you could argue that you should have definitely answered your phone, but I can understand that you're annoyed at that point in time and you probably just wanted nothing to do with it. Am I the silly bugger for taking my daughter's violin away? My daughter, 15, and I, 38, moved into my boyfriend's, 56, home a month ago. We've been dating since March and wanted to take the next step in our relationship. When we moved in, all I asked of my daughter was that she respects that this was my boyfriend's home and to be respectful towards him. As with practically all apartments in New York City, space is limited. Therefore, every time my daughter practices her violin, everybody else can hear. This has proved to be an annoyance to my boyfriend, and one of his house rules is that she practice when he's not home. Flash forward to last week, I wake up to her playing away. My boyfriend is already at his desk working on a project for work, and he says he's so annoyed and can't focus right now. My boyfriend goes into her room and asks her if she forgot the house rules. She retorts that she had a virtual audition in a couple of hours and needed to practice. I had told her not to wait until the last minute to practice, but she did so anyway. It was 7 and my boyfriend's work presentation was at 9, my daughter's audition was at 10. So I tell her to wait until she leaves the house and she'll still have time to warm up. We leave her room and soon after, I hear her plucking the strings and obviously moving the bow. My boyfriend goes in again and she tells him to go to the lobby and work there. I didn't like my daughter's tone and she clearly wasn't going to stop making noise, so I ended up taking her violin and bow away until my boyfriend leaves for work. My daughter is so mad that she's shaking when I give her her stuff back. She says she needed to do more than warm up and threw a tantrum before her audition. Now it's a week later and she found out she didn't make it to the orchestra. She has locked herself in a room and calls her stepfather here and doesn't talk to me at all. Am I the silly bugger? I was reacting to her disobeying a clear directive from me. She was also disrespecting the man I love by kicking him out of his own home. The lobby of our apartment is used a lot and poses a health risk to my boyfriend, and he also needs to give 100% at his job. Also, my daughter has had plenty of time to practice before the day of. Again, you're not the silly bugger, but I feel like no one is necessarily incredibly horrible in this situation. The daughter was being disrespectful, but I understand her being incredibly stressed out in this situation. As somebody who's done a lot of music myself, I know that the day of something important, I spend that entire day working on that music thing, pretty much. And sometimes that can be bad, and sometimes it can be good. I think you need to have that kind of perspective when you're looking at this. I think the daughter was just stressed out, was trying her best. She probably should have communicated that she wanted time to play her instrument the morning of a bit more. And I think it's unfair to say she was practicing at the last minute, considering she was up at 7 a.m. practicing for something at 10 a.m. I feel like it's a bit unfair to say that she's only practicing then. But then again, I don't know the full context of the story. That's my 2 cents on it. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments below. Am I the silly bugger for getting angry with my wife for waking me up early on my birthday? My birthday is today. I'm 33. Woohoo. I run a restaurant, and even with all the craziness going on, we've managed to be doing pretty well with takeout orders and deliveries. But we've had a couple of employees quit temporarily, and as a result, I've been basically working 60-hour weeks for the past 2 months. I usually get to the restaurant at 7:30 by myself to begin prep for opening at 11 a.m. and I sometimes don't get home until after 10 p.m. I am exhausted. I decided to take my birthday off and informed my wife that my plans for the day were to sleep in as long as I possibly can and celebrate with her and the kids later in the day. Lo and behold, at 8 a.m. today, my wife and kids burst into the room singing happy birthday and presenting me with a breakfast they made for me. I kept my mouth shut, ate my breakfast and thanked my kids, but when they left, I immediately told my wife how my only request was to sleep in, and I was extremely angry that it hadn't been fulfilled. She called me and told me how hard her and the kids had worked on my breakfast and that they were so excited to wake up early and make breakfast for daddy. I think I'm completely justified, and they could have made lunch for daddy, or hell, even dinner. I'm also still tired. Am I the silly bugger here? I am really struggling to pass judgment today. I think the way you reacted was kind of rude and unfair, but again, you specified to your wife that you wanted to sleep in, so I completely get, like, being upset. But I feel like you do gotta remember, your wife was just trying to be nice. She really wasn't trying to be rude. She was just trying to be nice. Besides, the kids don't understand how hard you work and the fact that sleep is super important. So if they get up and they're excited to express their love to you, they're gonna try and do their best to express that love to you. Your wife probably just got caught up in that. All right, so that's the end of the video. My judgment is slipping apparently because I was really struggling to give conclusive decisions today. So please do let me know what you think down in the comments down below, because it is nice to have that kind of community engagement and to see what you guys think. And it is genuinely interesting coming back the day after and reading through the comments and seeing what everyone thinks about every single story. So remember, I'll be labeling the stories in the description and in the timestamps, so it's on that time bar or whatever it's called. You know, you hover your mouse over, you tap your finger, you'll see the story name there. So please do let me know what you think. Remember, if you want to be a channel member, there's a really cheap one that, you know, it just helps me out, and then there's ones where I give you shout outs and stuff like that. And yeah, if you want to do that, it's pretty cheap. It's not that expensive. It's way less than like a cup of coffee. With that in mind, I want to give a massive shout out to Leon Rosengarten. So thank you so much for your membership. I really appreciate it, my guy. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll see you guys when I see you guys. Bye.